Hello, everybody.
Hello, Libra.
Libra, specifically. We are here for your Cancer full moon reading, which will be at 20 degrees and also a lunar eclipse.
Lunar eclipse.
Oh, God. that I am a natal Mercury retrograde, so please forgive me for all my stumbly bumbly crap. It's a lunar eclipse, not a lunar eclipse. So I wrote down the inside degrees for 20 degrees Cancer. I didn't write down everything. A bunch of that sage just crept down my throat. Pardon.
Pardon her.
Yeah, excuse me, everybody. Anyway, so inside degrees, go ahead. I encourage you to look it up on a search engine.
Homework.
And find your inside degrees for Cancer 20 degrees, because this stuff's really in-depth and interesting and has a lot more facts than what I can put on the beginning of one of these. So it's many brightly colored fish. And then we have the time for the exactness will be 2:21 p.m. Eastern and 11:21 Pacific. The energies that I wrote down and sort of have in description will be this moon is going to bring to light how we influence our place in society, show us where our bottled up resentments have influenced our current state of emotions. Our emotional bodies are speaking clearly through our physical bodies with oddball aches and pains and illnesses that don't quite feel like a cold or a flu, just doesn't feel good in general. All these things come up to show us our perceptions in a very tangible way.
Right.
Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it is a lunar eclipse. And so, like the tides, our emotions will have their cycles. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to mood swings. They are your key to manifesting your sense of belonging, home, family, security, safety, and opportunities to either nurture your loved ones or hold space for them. Which is a fancy way of saying, I have a place for you in my heart, even though we're not talking. So, Libra, I'm sure you understand some of those vibes, because you're either about relationships or open enemies. Open relationships or open enemies. You're just neither. You're not going to be in the gray zone whatsoever, are you? But that's why we love you, us Aries. We admire how you don't burn bridges so fast.
Can't argue. But the organs that happen to be influenced by this full moon in Cancer is the stomach, mucosa, ovaries, womb, vagina, breast, peritoneum, lymphatic system, and your breastbone. While surgery is not recommended, we do highly recommend you take this time during this full moon in Cancer to make sure you are up to date on any annual exams. Maybe it's a good time to get a massage, physicals, mammograms, and pap smears, especially if you're a woman, and then on to the men. You guys need to make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. STD and STI tests are highly advised to do right now as well.
At least get them scheduled, man.
Yes.
Whatever it takes.
If you are into gardening or you are a farmer, the best days for planting, if you're dealing with above ground crops, are the 5th, 6th, 9th. Why in these readings do I feel like I keep getting stuff in my eye? The 27th and the 28th. Jeez. Okay, and then below ground crops would be the 18th and the 19th of this month. And if you are into fishing, the 1st through the 10th and then the 24th through the 31st are the most ideal days to catch a big one.
In January.
Yes.
So, got your first card. We've already done the card blessing. We did, a card blessing in Aries, and we also just did one because we started those videos yesterday, the first 6. So
yes,
if you want to watch that and get present with it, that's how you do. Okay, so Libra, I seem to remember I maybe it was about a year ago. Just maybe, I think it was more like around May. we pulled the death card for Libra, and it was kind of funny because it wound up that Megan got fired that week.
Oh, okay. So that was back in the end of May, early June.
Right? So, it just kind of caught my vibe funny that we have the death card reversed right now. So, maybe that's a connection about that time, middle of last year, right before the seasons changed, from spring to summer.
It's an end, but like in the upper hand way.
Okay, so you know what happened should we talk about a little bit about what's going on?
It
the gossip, because that's really funny.
Just motivated me because I'm a Libra Moon, Libra Rising. And it motivated me to just start my own business.
She
you know what I mean?
But not only that, you had a lot of transformation in that amount of time, and you didn't know. We got another job in the middle of this, and then wound up not being at that job anymore. We had to file for unemployment.
Oh yeah.
As part of this thing, and she didn't know it, but this job that fired her.
Oh yeah.
When the death card got pulled, actually kind of owed her a little bit of money to help her, like, as far as unemployment goes. So she was there was two kinds of way they wound up owing her money, and she's gotten everything that they owed her.
So
through this amount, so this transformation that's happening. It's a long story short. They owed her a significant amount of money because the way that she got fired was just bizarre.
Yes.
And this card, this is why we're elaborating for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever. About this, why this is relevant is because it's like a conclusion to that beginning transformation that started that felt like crap. So this is more like coming through to the other side and actually going with the flow of things, of transformation, change, like the complete feeling of death, and finally being done with that death cycle and coming out on the other side. It's good.
All right, now I just pulled card number 8 for you, Libra, and it says, a consistent formula gives me consistent results. Like learning to understand the basics of mathematics, then having the successful experience of understanding the results of their applications. Once you have a formula for understanding your world that is always consistent, it will yield consistent results to you. So what really pops into my mind is the way you react to every situation.
It really matters.
Like, your reaction will influence the next step that happens beyond that point.
So I would say, yeah, let's keep going. I'm interested, and like I would say that you guys have been reacting, doing that. They always say that Libra is an Aries that went to charm school. And so perhaps you are actually using diplomacy right now in the middle of all this. Strength reversed. So that's 2 major arcana reversed. That's wild. And no, you might actually feel like being a little petty, but it's actually a good idea to not be that way. Don't do any I told you so's or anything like that.
You never really get anything out of it anyway.
It's a shallow victory. So, be careful.
Now I got card number 11 for you. And it is the most powerful law in the universe. Every thought vibrates. Every thought radiates a signal. And every thought attracts a matching signal back. We call that process the law of attraction. The law of attraction says that which is like unto itself is drawn. So if you're acting petty, you're going to get more petty situations revolving around you, and everything will just be petty. If you're being a giver, if you are making sure you are radiating in the right energy for what you're trying to achieve, you are going to be achieving what you want in a much different fashion than other people, and you're going to feel like it's just that much more right.
It's like that printer that always seems to know when you're in a good mood or in a bad mood and decides to jam when you're in a bad mood or wants to go smooth when you're smooth. It's just that kind of thing where you've already been dealing with a lot, like, and you might feel like you've been not maybe oppressed, but you're really over trying to hold yourself back, and it's still not time to lash out or be petty. I don't know if it ever will be the right time, but it's up to you and what you feel like dealing with.
Right.
But it's not really a good time to be passive aggressive either, so don't do that.
No.
It's just sit back and evaluate like how far you've come and try to get into an appreciation zone with
right that. I feel like this full moon in Cancer for you guys, Libra, is going to bring some sort of conclusion, whether I think it's going to be more of like an emotional, like mental conclusion in a way from what you had previously experienced.
Right. So,
all right,
hopefully that makes sense. Let us know.
All right, we will see you guys on the next reading.
Bye.
Bye.